that is supported by agricultural commodities throughout the province. And while Keith Curry is here representing Ontario Federation of Agriculture, I need to give him kudos as well, because we did sit around the board table, the Ontario Agri-Food Education Board table as well, as people who want to see our students learn about this viable and amazing industry that we have. And before we go any further, I'd also like to recognize a number of people in the crowd. First of all, I'd like to thank my colleague and friend, Garfield Dunlop, our education critic for the PC Party of Ontario. Thank you for being here. John Vantoff, agriculture critic, whip for the NDP party. And we also have with us Brendan Ashmore from the Canadian Beverage Association. And with that, there are many other people that we need to recognize as well, because over the last couple of months, I've been out speaking and talking to people that were enthused a couple of years ago when the Premier challenged the agri-food industry to create 120,000 new jobs. And I saw a bit of a gap, though. And in an effort to help the Premier realize this goal and to bring and thread so many organizations together in this province, I saw an opportunity to stand on my soapbox and advocate a message that I'll give credit where credit is due, that came from Laurie Jokas, the current chair of Ontario Agri-Food Education, and she's associated with Canada's Outdoor Farm Show as well. Laurie noted back in 2009 and 2010 that there were agricultural jobs without people. And then we see a government embrace Ontario's agri-food sector, which is great news. But the fact of the matter is, the Ontario agri-food sector is a leading economic sector in this province and provides 740,000 jobs already, and again contributes $34 billion to Ontario's gross domestic product on average on an annual basis. Yet, despite the significance of this industry, we still find that we have jobs without people. University of Guelph did a study, and it would have been, and Colleen, you can help me out there, but for every 3 jobs in the agri-food sector, there were 3, I'll say it this way, for every person thinking about pursuing a career in the agri-food sector, there were 3 or 4 jobs for them to consider. Right. And I also spoke to someone who coordinated food service studies at Conestoga College. And their classrooms go with seats unfilled. And when you take a look and walk around this province, there's opportunities here because in my riding of Huron Bruce, I had the opportunity to meet with long-term care administrators. And they were telling me one of their biggest problems right now is they can't find people to work in their food service. And, there's a job opportunity there. Sure. And I think in the end, that's where our gap is, and that's where the thread is that will pull us all together. And let me talk about that a little bit more. What I find is that we have people interested in advocating and promoting jobs that we have in the agri-food sector, but we didn't have the enticement. We are not at this time creating awareness in our students to pursue jobs in the agri-food sector. So what I did was bring my experience around the table at OAFI and a little bit of heart that is very much indicative of the type of people that sit around commodity organizations and not-for-profit organizations in rural Ontario, and marry it with an opportunity that I have here at Queen's Park. And that's why I'm introducing this motion. I think we can help Premier Wynne realize her goal of challenging the agri-food sector but to create 120,000 new jobs by taking a step back and making it mandatory to talk about the amazing agricultural careers that we have in grade 9 and 10 career and guidance curriculum. And I have to say that this concept is resonating. A few weeks ago, I met with civics students, grade 10 civics students at Effie Medill Secondary School in Wingham. And they were coming to visit Queen's Park just this past Monday, but they just didn't want a tour. They wanted to try and make a difference. So they created a petition, and it just so happened it was a petition to support my private members initiative. And this is where the story gets really good for all of us here today. While I was preparing to share their petition in the House on Monday, the Premier was there. So I took the opportunity to cross the floor and introduce the class, so to speak, in the gallery to the Premier. And I said that they're here because I was going to read in a petition that they had created for me. And she asked about the content of the petition. And as soon as she heard that it was in support of my private member's motion, she said, you know what, this is a good idea. We need to make sure it happens. Then, at a Greenbelt Foundation event later that evening, the Minister of Agriculture and Food came up to me and said, I understand what you're doing. Let's see what we can do to get this done. And then just as recent as question period today, I was speaking to the Minister of Education, and she says, let's figure out how to do it. So with that, it's great news.
Great news.
It's groundbreaking right here, right now, that I look forward to having all party support going forward when we debate this bill during Agriculture Week on October 8th. And with that, I'd like to take a step back. I've given a moment for Colleen and Keith to reflect on the fact that I think we are going to get this done with the messages that I've received this week, and I look forward to your comments. Thank you very much. Do you want to? Okay.
Go ahead, Colleen.
Okay. I'm really pleased to be here. Ontario Agri-Food education has been around for over 25 years. And we know that kids are really separate now from agriculture, as most generations are. They haven't been on the farm in a long, long time. So how do you compete in high school to prep them to take the jobs that are going to be there when they graduate? Because they do want jobs, but they want jobs with meaning where they can feel good about what they do. And this sector has all of that to offer. But let's just not get them when they're leaving high school and then try and get them into those programs. We're here to support Lisa's motion because we think it's so important to bring that message to high school students when they're in high school, when they're studying about careers in grade 9 and 10. That's where we need this groundswell to begin. We work all the time with colleges and universities, so we have good partnerships there. We work with commodity groups to make sure we have good information for these students. We challenge the media myths that are out there so that they understand that agriculture is forward thinking. Agriculture is full of biotech and science, because we want our very best leaders now to enter that field. And we want it to happen now, because as Lisa said, there's not only 3 jobs for every student that graduates, but a national study has shown there's about 50,000 jobs right now in Canada that do not have the skill set to be filled by these students. So what are we waiting for? I think the motion is well timed. I think it's about time. We have a National Agri-Food Literacy Week now in Canada, nationally. In March, we have this local food week. We have Ag Week in the fall. Let's get it done, and I'm hoping that everyone supports Lisa. She'll certainly be able to count on our support as we reach out to all the classrooms in Ontario, and I congratulate her for taking this initiative. Well done.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thanks very much, Lisa. And I just want to echo what Colleen has said. As Vice President of Ontario Federation of Agriculture, we represent nearly 37,000 farm families across this province who produce and promote the wonderful food that you find on your plates each and every day. And a motion like this certainly requires a champion, and Lisa has long time been a champion and a proud fighter of what's good and what's going to promote the agricultural industry in Ontario. And one of the lacking things that we have as producers is beyond the farm gate, that recognition that there is a definite need for further careers in agriculture. We need the processing to stay here. We already employ nearly 750,000 people in this province and are the largest employer. The agri-food industry is the largest employer in Ontario. So this bill will only help to enhance that agri-food industry and enhance opportunities for our future. I also want to acknowledge my old friends Garfield Dunlop and John Vantoff, and thank you for being here today to support this as well. Both of those gentlemen have been very good supporters in the past, and so congratulations to you, Lisa, and on behalf of the Ontario Federation of Agriculture, keep up the good work, and if there's anything further we can do to help move this along, we'd be more than happy to help you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So what does this mean at the end of the day? It means that by making agriculture mandatory in grade 9 and 10 career curriculum, we're going to have young people understanding and realizing the opportunities that lie ahead for them. There could be opportunities to keep our young people in rural Ontarios with good paying jobs, and there are maybe other opportunities to allow young people to realize their dream of pursuing a job in the agri-food industry. I was just speaking to someone in Thornhill last night, and his dream is to become a veterinarian. And just opportunities like this to pull everyone together is really what we need to be striving for in the province of Ontario and in this House, Queen's Park. And so with this motion, my vision is that people are aware of the opportunities and they will shape and sculpt their education career towards how they can realize being a welder and pursuing trades, how they could pursue a career that they love with in terms of food service, or how they might become a scientist that could make a difference in terms of how we grow our crops. They could innovate and introduce new products that we so badly need to make our farms efficient and productive and, most importantly, profitable. And then we could also realize that people could identify dream jobs that combine high tech with farm implements. The list just could go on and on. But I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on one particular list right now. And those are the people that I've met with, and those are the people that also understand the importance. And I'm going to draw out a page in just a couple of seconds and thank some people who have already joined me to say, yes, we need this type of initiative. We have some call-out boards here with various quotes, but I'd also like to recognize Grain Farmers of Ontario, Canadian Federation of Independent Business, Food and Beverage Ontario, Beverage Canada, Restaurants Canada, Huron Grain Farmers, Bruce County Federation of Agriculture, Township of North Huron, University of Guelph, Guelph Agricultural College, and Ontario Pork. Ontario Pork I saved to the last because it was amazing how this groundswell started. I spoke about the need to educate students about career opportunities at a local Huron County pork producers meeting. And they actually, I also spoke about this particular need at the Bruce County pork producers regular meeting back in the winter. And they took a resolution to their provincial meeting, and it passed almost unanimously. So it goes to show you that people totally understand the need to connect the dots here, and that's ideally what this motion does. It connects students with good, viable jobs, and it's all through Ontario's agri-food sector, and that's how I am enjoying celebrating our local food week this week, and I look forward to debating it on October 8th during Agriculture Week. Thank you very much.